It's like 2 hours long. There is a certain amount of actual acting time that captures your performances, and if you were to really collect it all, it's only a few minutes of an entire feature film. What kind of, like, how do I ask? What kind of preparation does that kind of create for you when you recognize that if you were to squeeze all this down into singular moments, this is only a couple minutes, but these are my minutes. Does that kind of help you as actors kind of really dig in for everything that you do?
Well, thanks for telling us that, because now I'm just going to be pressured every time. I'm only in this movie for 5 minutes. I got to do something really good.
But it's the greatest 5 minutes.
I guess I never thought about it, because they're just kind of in the moment.
Yeah.
And then they're capturing it.
Yeah, you always want to use your imagination and eat up whatever scenes you have. I mean, you don't want to steal away from the main part of the scene, but you still want to be felt.
Right.
So I always love helping out and being a co-star to whoever the lead is in the scene, and be, breathing it and feeling it and being a part of it. But with the smaller scenes that Emmett has, especially looking forward to the arm wrestling scene with Bella, I read the books. So for me, not being able to do the backstory with when Rosalie saved his life, I clock what other scenes that I really, really want to hit on and focus on. But anytime I have a one-liner or a two-liner, I just have fun with it. I knew my character so well that it just was organic to just be present with the scene. You feed off the other actors and you respond to what's going on in the scene. And then the other ones where I remember when I was fighting, I think in Eclipse, when I got hit in the water, it was really cold. And I remember David Slade, it was second unit, so whoever the director was, he's like, vampires don't breathe, obviously we're dead.
Well, I remember that night, because there was when you breathe outside, it creates like white smoke, right? Like your breath creates like white, what do you get, all that mist, right?
Right.
Yeah. And so they couldn't shoot because they were like, well, we're not supposed to have hot breath, so it was a giveaway when our breath was coming out. And so we would eat ice chips to like make our mouth colder, to bring down, and it was like cold outside and they're giving us ice chips. So sometimes you gotta
and then so
the pain of art.
Yeah, you don't breathe. So in that scene, I'm like, I'm not breathing. I'm just really mad. So I'm huffing and puffing because it's a big fighting scene, while holding my breath, while showing that Emmett is angry, and it worked. I think they just cut out anytime the breath came out of the nose. But yeah, it's just have fun with what you get, and you do the best that you can.
Yeah, I think you prepare your part the same way you would as the lead versus if you're coming in.
Everybody's the lead in their own own movie, in life too, right? You're the lead of your.
Yeah, I think the only difference maybe is that you do kind of go like, all right, I don't have the full film to show them the arcs of like who I am, so you have to really think about like what the audience gets to see and what you can give away in those moments. But otherwise, I think the preparation is pretty similar.
I think that's why I love film so much, because even if you only have 3 or 4 scenes, you know the whole story arc of your character within that universe of the movie. Whereas when I was doing a TV show, doing FBI Most Wanted, there's stuff you can do, but you don't know where your character's going.
Oh my gosh, and then if they like go to season 3 and you're like, well, if I had known that, I would have done that in season 2. Yeah.
So it was good having the books. It was good knowing there was no random off-track thing that Emmett does, and just having that homework to digest and create the character. And you don't want to put everything into one scene, but you get to feed the character throughout, which is the best part.
One of the reasons why I wanted to ask that.
Carlisle has like 350 years. When you get a script, you got to fill all that in, or at least I try to. So I remember sitting at home going, okay, well, where did he go? Like, what happened to him in those 350 years before you see him on screen? And so, like, what wars did he see, and why did he want to become a doctor, and why does he like baseball? Like, those are questions I had to answer, So I remember in journaling, I remember thinking, oh, well, he came over to America in the 1920s, baseball was rampant. Oh, maybe he was in Chicago. Maybe he went and saw baseball games, and he was like, this is, we embrace the culture there. And so we just fell in love with that. And then I thought, well, maybe there was a famous story of Babe Ruth where he would point to center field and then he hit the ball exactly where do you guys know that story?
Absolutely.
Yeah, maybe some. So Babe Ruth was a famous baseball player. You know that, right? So Babe Ruth was a famous baseball player in the 1920s.
Can you describe, wait, what is baseball?
In the
Can you go back?
1920s.
He was named after the chocolate bar guys.
And so he pointed the bat one game and he hit the ball exactly where he hit it. And I thought, well, maybe I was at that game, and maybe whenever I play, I always try to emulate that Babe Ruth thing. So I told Catherine that, and she said, "Oh, that's cool." So I said, "I'm gonna point to like center field. I'll hit the ball exactly there." And then she said, "Well, that's cool. I'll start the camera movement on the bat, and then I'll come in on your face." So like something that was created by my imagination, then informed her as the director, and she created a whole camera movement out of it. So when you go back and watch that scene, you'll that's where that came from, you know. So it's kind of fun when you're doing the homework because there is no right or wrong, you know. You could be like, Carlisle had 3 sisters. No, he had 2 sisters. No, he had 1 brother. It doesn't, you know, but who was his brother and was he close with his brother? And like, you guys don't know that. You know, for me, I need to know. All of that stuff informs, you know, moments. Later on in the movie, there's subtle things that will happen, and then you'll go, oh, that's because maybe his brother did this to him. And you guys won't know that, but I'll know it. You know what I mean? And so there's a little moment that comes to life. And so that's the fun of acting, is like creating a whole world for this person that you're seeing on screen.
Can I ask you a question just to go off of that? So Elizabeth Esme, she had a line that was cut where she's like, "Oh, doing the Babe Ruth thing again."
So we actually
did you
put that
tell
in.
her about that?
No,
story,
we
or
put
how
that
did
in.
she know that?
Well, we talked about it with Catherine, and then Catherine said, "Well, why don't Elizabeth? You say, oh no, not the Babe Ruth thing again," you know. And so she put it in, and she said it, and then they cut it out because it wasn't necessary, but. It still was there, you know, and it still informed the camera move. And so even though it was pared down, it wasn't necessary that you guys knew what it was, but there was a moment there that was from something, and then it becomes more real, and it becomes like there's a history there, you know. So that's the fun of what we do.
That's awesome. I love that. Make some noise for that, y'all. That's fantastic. Now, considering that you guys do know these characters so well, we got like a little bit of a quiz here called Who Said That? And, you know, just kind of want to see if you can remember exactly, you know, who in fact said that. Question number 1, are you ready? Should I start calling you Dad? Who said that?
Daddy?
Who did say that?
I mean,
Should I start calling you Dad? What? That was
should I
you,
start
it
calling
wasn't
you
it?
Dad?
I mean,
Is that Edward to Billy?
I'm like, is it Bella to you?
A clue is
I don't think it's-
Edward is involved, and the movie is Breaking Dawn Part 2.
Oh, I haven't seen that one yet.
I feel like it's a Rosalie line, but
Is it
sassy.
someone's joking to Edward because he's a dad now?
Or maybe it's Jacob. It could be Jacob. It is Jacob.
Correct, it is Jacob. Look at the fans out there, they do.
We got there.
You did.
I think I remember. It was in the-
Oh, because he fell in love with Edward's baby. I get it now. He's like, hey, listen, your infant is super gonna be hot in the future.
That's so weird.
So I'm gonna call you daddy.
That's such a weird line.
That's a weird one. Yeah, next
All right,
question.
Next one, yep. All right, so this next one is, I can hear her strange heart. I didn't write this one.
Guys,
Okay? I can hear her strange heart.
That's in
That's actually something I said
it's in
behind the
reference
scenes.
to Renesmee for sure.
Good job, good job,
And I
good
think
job.
I think it was Bella, or it could have been Rosalie. But it's somebody like I remember it was like around they were like, who? Volturi?
Volturi.
What?
It was Volturi.
Volturi's like, I can hear her strange heart.
But which one?
Do you guys know?
Arrow?
Yes.
Was it Arrow?
It's Arrow.
That was my
yeah.
Locked in. Locked in.
When you take
It
it
was
in
the
context, it sounds
It is
really
really
weird.
strange, right?
Yeah, it's so strange.
That's the beauty of
Very
this
creepy.
great production.
I tried to block him out because he was so creepy. I can hear her strange heart. His laugh is. Sometimes I wake up in the middle of the night.
All right,
Oh my
this
God.
one's a hard one. She's part of the family now. We protect our family.
I say that.
Yeah.
Peter knows. He knows what's
He's
up.
like, I got this one.
He's like, I got this one. I got this one. It's absolutely true. Absolutely true. This next one. The clouds I can handle, but I can't fight with an eclipse.
This was from Eclipse, I think.
It is from Eclipse. Good job. Good job. Discernment.
Clouds I can handle, but what?
Oh, is this in the movie or the book?
We're gonna say the movie.
Oh, we're gonna say we don't know.
Yeah, we're gonna say the movie.
All right. I tap out. I think I failed.
This is, what was the line again?
The line is, the clouds I can handle, but I can't fight with an eclipse.
Oh, that's Jacob, right?
There it is.
That's because
Listen,
of yeah.
Peter is on point right now.
Did you get a cheat sheet?
I play Twilight the board game at least twice a week.
He'll
So
never
should I
live
call
down
you
that one.
Dad now?
I like it.
Good job.
This is, okay, last one. How you been liking the rain, girl?
We know this one.
That
It's
was
Mike.
Mike, right?
No, it's the other one. Is Mike the
Eric, was it?
Well, it's Michael Welsh.
Michael Welsh. What's his character's name?
Mike?
Mike.
Mike.
it's
It is Mike.
Mike played Mike.
Okay, I have a question though, because we played the Twilight game, right?
Yes.
They don't tell them that story because they don't know that story.
Did we ever play? Because there's board games for every single.
No, we just played the one.
Why? Why was that?
Because Ashley won and we got sour grapes about. So one night we were doing. I think we were here doing New Moon, and we couldn't go out because by the time the second one came out, it was like a scene every time we walked out the door, like paparazzi and stuff. So we decided to just hang out in each other's rooms and when our rooms started. So one night we were hanging out and we'd play guitar, we'd sing, it would be fun. Jackson would play guitar. I don't play guitar and sing, but he would, and he'd entertain us. And then one night, Kellen brought Twilight, the board game, and so we played it. And I thought I would win because I was like, oh, I know all the characters because I made it a point to know everybody, my backstory. So they would come to me and be like, hey, when did I get bit? I'd be like, it was a cold and dark night. It was 1952. So I was like, I'm a shoo-in to win this game. And then I lost.
Whoa.
And that's because, and Ashley won. I call her Alice. And she won because she cheated. She used her superpowers in the future so that she could see in the future. No, but I lost because I didn't know any of the high school kids' names because I'm like the dad that doesn't know the high school friends that the kids are like, Dad, they're my best friend for 4 years. You don't know them? No, I don't know those.
You know how many times you've been to high school? Get out of here with that. That's real. I love that. Okay, so one of the things that I think is very amazing about the culture of Twilight are all the inside jokes, the memes, and things like that. What has been kind of your favorite thing that people have taken and kind of made their own as fans that they've brought back to you, where you're like, I did say that, didn't I? Or that's not what that means, but I love that that's how you're using it. Do you guys have a favorite one of those?
I love all the memes, man. We got any ratties here?
What?
We got some ratties out there. You guys
Okay.
are the best, man. These are my favorite people. And if you don't know what the ratties are, I'm sorry, but I'm also really glad for you because you got a lot of exciting, fun stuff to see.
Yes.
And it might make you uncomfortable a little bit because it's funny. I think there's all these memes out there. Eggward is one of my favorites. It's legitimately just like Rob's face on an egg, and it makes me happy because that's kind of how I saw him, Aww. Yeah.
I think the
Sorry, that's a yoke.
fan.
Bad job. That was so good.
I got a dozen of them.
Keeps coming.
There's a fan theory going around that I think is true.
Uh-oh.
I agree. So the fan theory is that all the Cullens are bald because they're vampires, so hair doesn't grow, and they all wear wigs, which is why our hair changes all the time. And I'm like, I can see that, and that's why my wigs are so bad.
That's a good one. That's a really good one.
I like that one.
I like that.
I'm
Yeah.
gonna hold on to that one
Why are we bald?
because
What
we're
was-
dead.
what
300
was the
years.
initiation?
The hair
Yeah,
just
hair doesn't-
dissolved over
After a
300
while,
years
yeah.
of time.
What about okay, never mind. Nothing.
That's true. Hair does grow after you die, though, right?
Sort of.
I mean, I don't know. I've never
Your
dug
skin
anybody up or
shrinks. It
anything.
just makes the hair
Didn't
look
you
like
play
it's
a doctor?
How do you know this? this?
Yeah, played.
I'm a writer.
Like
We
a
have
lot of
movies.
doctors.
I've played a lot of doctors, but I've never
Research.
dug up a dead body playing a doctor. I don't know.
Now, through the memes, though, that's kind of the first time that we see an association between Twilight and Marvel, where there's always those memes of Edward, and just beyond him is Blade, just waiting to kind of show up. So now that we've established that Twilight does exist in the MCU, are we waiting for that combination? Is that something that...
Sure, hope so.
Okay, all right. I just want to throw that out there.
I mean, why not?
I mean, I hope we do. I mean, in terms of things that are coming, that would be something awesome. In fact, I think that's a perfect segue. Can you guys tell us anything that's coming out? Ashley, we'll start with you, that you're working on that you can tell us about.
Absolutely nothing.
Okay.
I'm just kidding. I did a movie with Peter. Peter directed me called Grace Period. It's a comedy about a woman named Willa who has found out she doesn't even want kids, but she finds out that she might not be able to have kids. And so it takes you through her journey of freezing her eggs and egg retrieval in a very heightened comedic way.
I love that.
And I think it's really beautiful. I got to work with Seth Green, was opposite me, and working with Peter was amazing because there's such a base trust there, and he kind of introduced me into the comedy world. So I'm
That's
really excited
fantastic.
for you guys to see it.
She's so funny in this, and I'm so proud of her. And it was such a delight getting able to direct her. And every day she just brought some really wonderful stuff to the table. And so I actually we have a little trailer for this.
Oh, snap.
I've never shown it to anybody, but I thought maybe you guys would want to be the first.
You guys want to see it?
You guys want to see it?
All right, wait. Before we cue this up, okay, here are some